Hi everybody, Tiffany here, and I'm going to be showing you how to create some yummy texture with some mica powders from Finnabair and some new Art Alchemy acrylic paints. And I love purple, so we're going to be using purple today. And of course, as always, you can use whatever colors you like. And let me put these back so I don't lose them. So we're going to be playing around with all sorts of goodies today and hopefully give you guys some ideas and things. But I'm going to pull up the announcements. Okay, so first announcement is registration is open for Prima Art Venture in Phoenix, January 18th and 19th, 2017. Go to livewithprima.com, then click class schedule to get information about this exclusive event. Email Denny for more information, Denny at primamarketinginc.com. And be sure to join our live Facebook oh my gosh, I cannot speak today. Be sure to join our Live with Prima Facebook group. There is where we post upcoming classes, share ideas, fun discussions, and meet awesome people all over the world. Search Live with Prima on Facebook to find us. And also there is a Prima Art Venture Facebook group as well if you want to join that. And lots of other Prima groups that are just so much fun with oozing with lots of talented people and stuff. So, all right, so there's, oh my goodness, I thought I almost lost my journal here. All right, so we're gonna get started, and I already started the front because I am going to be using some crackle paste, and you do want to let that dry naturally, air dry. But I just wanted to show you guys up close. So this is kind of just some texture that I was playing with. And I, of course, for me anyways, when I think of the art stones, it automatically reminds me of the beach and just doing like beachy themed projects. So that's why I kind of chose a different color scheme. And also I was going through a purple phase at the time. So this is the Vintage Vanity Art Journal, and it comes all nicely packaged. And let's see, the number is 961022. And you can open it, and this is really great. And you could save this as well and use that on one of your pages. And it's really neat because you have this folder here, and if you have like ephemera, anything that you want to save and use in your journal, you can always add it there. So that's really nice to have. And then it comes just like this, so you have all these pages and these pages as well, which are great starter pages if you have a hard time using blank pages. And it has some craft pages, and then these are really neat as well. So lots of fun you can have with this art journal. So what I did was I took it apart, and it's really easy, and I think I actually put this one on backwards, but that's okay. All right, so you just kind of pull the rings off, because I actually took some of my pages out. And then it's also easier when you're creating and using the texture paste and everything. So I'm just gonna set all these pages aside. Okay, so I'm going to do what I did on the front, on the back here to achieve this look to get where we are here on the back, if that makes sense. All right, so first you want to get your palette knife or an old credit card or anything that I was using actually a popsicle stick earlier, and you know, anything that you can scrape with. And I'm going to be using the heavy gesso, and the number for this is 961442. And I just scraped it on. Because this is really thick and it's, you know, it's really nice consistency, you can get a really nice texture from it just using the gesso itself. So if you just have the gesso, you can always use this with your stencils as well. So I'm just kind of randomly scraping it. And thinking about it, I forgot to grab my stencil, which I will hopefully find. If not, I will just use whatever I can find. And I'm not too worried about it covering, you know, having full coverage, because I am going to be using some crackle paste and then all the other mediums as well. So, you know, it won't show the craft color, but of course you can always cover it as much as you like. All right. Oh, and a little tip, actually I was going to use them, but I buy some tissue papers, and I buy like a huge roll of them, and I put them down when I'm too lazy to clean my craft mat. And then when I'm doing things like this that, you know, I'm spraying and inking and splattering and stuff, it creates a lot of different, you know, background on your tissue paper, and you can always use that in projects. So I was actually going to do that today, but then I ended up cleaning my craft mat. All right. So I'm gonna just go right behind me and grab a stencil, my stencil really, really quickly. Let me see which one it is actually. Let me look at this. Okay. Okay, let's see, it's right here. Okay, and I'm gonna actually add a little bit more. And you can use these techniques on any mixed media project you want. Like I did it on this tag. You could do it on layouts, cards, whatever you want. It's kind of like a good starting point because you can always add flowers and more embellishments on top of what I'm going to show you today. Okay. All right, let me grab. See, I swear that I have everything all out and all ready to go, and I just am not together today. I'm just grabbing my metal pieces. And right here. Okay. Because I'm going to paint this while I have my gesso out. And I'm going to use that one. So the metal piece number is 960308. Grab a paintbrush. Paper towel. Let's see. So I just chose one from the pack, and I didn't even show you the pack, I don't think. Sorry guys. So this is, I used a few, so really cool, fun embellishments to use. And they're thin, so you can you can kind of bend them a little bit, and you can cut them apart if you want. Okay, and I am also going to paint some of these melange, I think that's how you pronounce it, but they're art pebbles, and I love these. So I think I'm gonna do the big one. And they're clear and they're really lightweight, so they're not gonna really weigh down your project. And there's a ton of different sizes in here. Just gonna pour these out right here so I can get, because the little ones are hard to get in the bottom. All right, so I'm just gonna add a coat of gesso to these. Any questions so far? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to be painting these as well. So I'm not really, I want a full coverage because I want the paint to stick to the pebbles, and the spray because I am going to be using the Color Bloom spray on these. So you want some sort of gesso, some primer on there to, you know. All right, and make sure I have notes to the side, just so you know. All right. Whoops, that doesn't go there. Okay, so I'm gonna set these aside, and all right, back to this. So the next step I did was I used these stamp here, and the number is 579135, and this is from the Garden Fable collection. Really nice collection, and I really like this stamp here. And let me just dry this really quickly. Okay. You want the gesso to be dry or else it's going to just end up all over your stamps. Alright, that's good for me. And I take StazOn ink. You want to use a permanent ink for this. And you see how I did it on the back. You're really not going to see too much of the stamping, and I actually did it wrong on this. I didn't stamp on this one. I didn't stamp this part, but we'll go with it. All right. So I'm going to add the stamp here. It does not have to be perfect, and honestly you probably will only see like a little tiny bits peeking out, if that. So I'm not really too worried. Okay. All right, that looks good. I'm just gonna kind of dry brush over a little bit of this over here. Just because I do want more of like an ombre effect. And when I was prepping this earlier today, I just wasn't thinking, so that's all right. Nothing a little gesso can fix. Can't fix, I mean. Okay. Now we're going to add the crackle paste, and I love this stuff. So there's clear, and there is, I think, like a metallic one, I'm pretty sure, I think, and also white. I really like the clear. So what I did was you just stir it just a tad, and then you don't want to leave the cap off of that for very long because it will dry out, and you're just going to scrape it on. And however, well, you can do a light coat, which will give you little crackles, or you can do a thicker coat, which will give you larger cracks. And kind of how you want the cracks to go is how you're going to want to scrape it on. I like it going all sorts of ways, and I'm not worried about the paste or anything getting in the holes because I just poke that out. It's real easy to do, so. Okay, any questions? Yes, it will work the best if you dry it, if you let it dry on its own, but truth be told, I am so impatient. So what I do is, and it works pretty well, is I put it on and then I'll go grab a cup of coffee or, you know, whatever, just for probably about, you know, step away for a little while, probably half an hour or so. And then I will come in, and I'll show you really quickly. I hold my heat tool pretty high up, So it's not the heat that is drying it, it's more just the air. And I just go back and forth really, you know, I'm way up high. So, and it works pretty well for me, but it does work the best if you let it dry on its own. But I am probably the most impatient person, so I don't always do that. I can't wait overnight or anything, so I don't know if you could see, you probably can't see the cracks, but they're there. So that's what I did to get this so far. So that's what I've done so far on the front. And I'm just going to take a little bit more this gesso and now we're going to use a stencil and some light paste, and the number is 960179. Yes, I do live where it is very, very, very dry. I live in close to Las Vegas, so that should tell you something. It is like negative humidity out here. It's so dry. Okay. All right, my light paste. And the number for the light paste is 961404. And I like using light paste. I just like the overall effect. I don't know how to explain it very well, but the difference between the light paste and the modeling paste is the modeling paste for me, when it's dry, it's smoother. And then the light paste, because it's so airy, it kind of has, I don't know, it's so hard to explain. I wish I can find the words to explain it. It's just a little, it's not gritty because it's not, you know, it doesn't have like texture or anything in it, but that's the only word that I could think of that explains what I'm thinking. It's kind of porous, I guess maybe is the word too, because it's so airy and light. When it dries, it just kind of soaks up that whatever color or paint or whatever you're using. So I want to do more around the top edge and the back, and then just kind of go in. I don't want to go, I'm not looking for full coverage of the texture paste, just more along the edges and then a little bit in the center. I'm going to set that aside just for a second, and I'm going to clean this off. And a lot of times what I do with this extra is I just go in and just kind of scrape it on. So I like using everything as much as possible. I'm going to baby wipe this off really quickly. If you guys have not watched the shows from National Scrapbooking Day, they are on Ustream. You can watch them, and also you can watch them. I know some people for some reason have a hard time watching the videos on Ustream. And they're also on Prima's YouTube channel, so be sure to check those out. Yes, it's spongy. That's what it is. Thank you, Shannon. My brain does not work sometimes. All right, I'm just gonna go in here and take that off. Okay, I'm going to use my heat tool again. I'm sorry for anybody that doesn't like it. Hello. I didn't say hi to anybody. Hello, Carrie and Janelle, and I have no idea why your name escapes me, but I know who you are because you live close to me, Misfit Crafter. Mildred and Barbara and Shannon and Marquise. Hello, Elaine. I know. All right. Okay, so next we're going to add some muslin, and you can use lace if you want, but I just take a little bit here. I'll grab some scissors, and then this just kind of gives a little bit of texture, and I just rip it. So you don't want to cover up the holes with the fabric. So you want just slightly right next to it. And I'm going to use the 3D matte gel to adhere that on there. And the item number for this is 961398. And I'm just going to add some right here. And the heavy body gel will work really well too. I just didn't have it at the time, so that would work really well. Okay, I'm not gonna put any on top. See how I just ended up covering all that stamping that I did? Yeah, that's just how I roll and what I do. All right, gonna cut this off. Let's see. My goodness, that does not want to cut. And I'm not worried about getting it all messy. I think that is the wonderful thing about art journals is you really don't have to worry. Just create and have fun. And all right, Next, I am going to add some gesso to this. Alright, did my, no, it didn't freeze. You guys are just quiet. Alright. Okay, next I'm going to add the metal piece here, and you want to make sure again that you're not covering up any of those holes. So, and there. So I'm just gonna poke that out so that I know. All right. And then I also used the Magnolia trim, which I don't have the number 4. So we're just gonna kind of layer here, and I'm gonna take my big bobble here, and I'm gonna use this 3D matte gel to adhere it all. You just add a generous amount on the back. Okay, so that is what it looks like so far. And am I froze or anything? You guys aren't chatting, or am I, the chat must be frozen or something. Oh yeah, you guys are chatting. It was just frozen for me. All right, whoops. And you can just take off the excess, because that's gonna kind of act like a resist on your project, and you want all that, let me get a different paintbrush. All the paint and the spray to adhere to your product. So I'm just gonna daub on some gesso around here because I want the Color Bloom spray to spray. Okay, let me grab that one. And so what I did first, so you're gonna get like an old bowl or something, and you're gonna take your mini art stones, add, you know, just as much as you think you'll need for your project, and also a little bit of the regular art stones. You don't want to add too many of these, and I'm gonna add some after as well. And you're gonna take your 3D matte gel and quite a, you know, generous amount, and just kind of mix it together. So that you can scrape it on your project. And the 3D matte gel will dry clear, but I am going to add a little bit of gesso to the top of this so that all my sprays will work nicely on my project. Alright, so you could see here I added more here and just kind of in the middle here. So I'm still gonna go with that as well. Actually, I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of this gel here in here because it seems a little dry. You want it to be able to scrape on nicely. And you can always add the gel to the page and then kind of sprinkle it on. See, there we go. All right. And the larger art stones are gonna give you a little bit of trouble because they're just like little marbles. They just want to roll around. They don't really want to stick. So any questions? I know I was thinking that this might be like nails on a chalkboard to some people, and I'm really sorry I didn't think about that before. Just kind of scrape it outwards. All right, and you want to wash this right away, but I wouldn't recommend washing this down the sink. I would probably get a paper towel and just kind of scraping it out. And normally you would let this dry. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one because I thought everybody left, but it was showing a lot of people, but no one was chatting. So if I missed anything, any questions, just, I can see the chat now, so just let me know. And like I said, normally you would let this dry naturally, but you know, like I said before, I'm really impatient, so. All right, I'm just gonna add a light coat of gesso on top of here. And let me close up my gel here real quick. And I'm not really adding it too much to cover the whole, all the texture on here. Just enough. And it's gonna really give a nice effect to your project when you're adding all the color. Okay. Okay, yes. I mixed the art stones with the 3D matte gel. Sorry if you guys missed that. Family's back. Say hi. um, um, okay, so I'm gonna take the Color Bloom spray, and this color is Iris, and the number is 573744. And I'm just gonna spray the whole thing. Well, not the whole thing, I shouldn't say that. Just kind of the outside and then the back part right here. And get a paper towel. And a little bit more here. Just gonna kind of let that run just for a second. Let it do its thing just for a second here. Well, I made brownies last night for my son's teacher. Okay, and then I'm gonna get this color here, and this is Pressed Petal. And the number for this one is 573881. And I'm just going to take it and just kind of put it on this side and hold my project up like this, and then it'll just kind of drip down where it wants to go. You can always add water if it doesn't seem like it's dripping as well as you want, which I think I might do. Just gonna add just a spritz of water. And then that's just gonna kind of run where the art stones are, and then where I put the texture, the light paste. And in the back here, I add the Art Alchemy paint, so I'm not really too worried about how it looks close to the binding. And every time you do this, you're gonna end up getting a different result just because it's liquid and you're not gonna get the same look every time. I'm just gonna dab this off up here. And this does kind of take, you know, a little bit of time, but it's well worth the result in the end because every different way you do, you know, you add your sprays or your, you know, your texture paste, whatever, it's always going to end up giving you a different result. So, okay, so I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to spray this and spray back here as well, or else it's just going to end up taking way too long. All right, I'm going to let this drip, add a tad bit of water. All right, you guys still with me? Whoops. And I'm gonna add a little bit more iris here, and then add a little bit water and let that just drip. Just kind of have to be a little bit patient. And paper towels or baby wipes is definitely a must. Okay. So next, what I did was I sprinkled on some of the purple mica powder, and the number for this is 962470. Gotta kind of be careful with this mica powder because it is so fine that it gets in the creases. Whoops, and that was probably way too much. I just want just a slight shimmer, and that was definitely way too much. And so I just want a little bit of shimmer with a little bit of that purple color. Right, whoops. And just add a little bit of water to activate it, to get those nice colors going. And my paste hasn't dried completely, so it's gonna kind of, hopefully it doesn't turn into a big puddled mess. And I don't know if you could see where I added that mica powder, but it's hard to tell on camera a lot of times. And okay, we're almost done. Okay, good. Let me grab a drink really quick. Okay, so next I added, well, let me heat this really quick. Yep, see, there goes all my art stones. Okay, and I am going to go back and add just a tad bit more of this pressed petal. And I was gonna kind of dab it on there, but it just takes too long. So I'm just gonna go in and spray a little bit. And I'm not pulling the trigger all the way back, just slightly so that it just kind of spritzes out. And there, okay. This one's gonna be a little bit darker overall, I think. And I'm gonna go back in with the iris color. And, all right. Then what I did was I took the Art Alchemy paint in the dark velvet, and this color is so gorgeous. Let me get another paintbrush really quick. And I'm just gonna take some and put it on my mat because you don't wanna leave the, well, at least I don't leave the cap off too long because it is acrylic paint and it will dry really fast. Okay, so with the purple, I did notice that, and we kind of came to the conclusion in Robbie's class, is that with some of the paints, when you add water, it either changes the color, you know, this one actually turns a little bit gray. So I'm not gonna add water. I'm just kind of brushing on the edge this paint, and then just gonna go in with my finger and kind of blend it up while it's wet. And you want to do this fast or else it will dry on you and then it won't have the same look. And this one actually is, you know, how I learned that, because it's I didn't blend it fast enough. So see, everybody I think learns things all the time, always have things to learn. So just and of course, this is turning out totally different than my original. I don't know why my projects always end up doing that. Okay, so I'm gonna add it here. Oh, I know why. Because I added that Color Bloom spray. There. I'm just gonna heat this really quickly so that it can get that dark purple on the edge. Okay, there we go. And I did cover this completely with the paint. You can definitely do it how you want. So I add it and then blend it out and then go back on the edge again and add more. And then the more you do this, the darker your edge will be, and then you'll get that really nice ombre effect where, you know, you have darker on the edges and lighter in the center. Okay, any questions? Just gonna get down there. And this. You're just gonna kind of play with how you want it. And I think I just wouldn't add too much color at once, and then you can always go back and add more if you want. That's kind of what I'm doing here. And then to finish it off, I could be here all night playing with this, just so you know. So I think kind of get the gist of the, you know, the technique and how to do it. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll keep an eye on the chat. So with the rest of the baubles, what I did was I just sprayed them with the iris. And because I covered them with gesso, the Color Bloom spray is gonna stick really nicely. I'm just gonna give this a quick heat. Okay, and then I take the 3D matte gel and then just add these randomly where I wanted them. So you don't want to add too much, and my brush is already getting dry. Okay, so just gonna randomly place these. And you want to let them dry completely, and because the art stones are on there, it's gonna take a little bit to dry, and they're gonna want to move around on you. Okay, so you can add these wherever you want. I think on my original I added a little bit more, but that's okay. And I think I'm going to skip out on that big one. Oh, I have a little one right here that didn't get sprayed. Left out. Oh, and that one over there. It's hard to see the white on white. I think I lost the chat, so if you have any questions, just let Carrie know, and she'll send me a text message. All right. Let me see if I can get it back really quickly while I'm doing this. Man, Ustream is just something else today. Well, the last few days, I think. Okay, yes, I used fabric here, so it's muslin, and I just tore it. And then here is the, what are these called? The Magnolia trim. So that's what is the fabric. Oh, Carrie's lost. I do have the chat up again, so if you guys have any questions and I missed them, then just, you know, shoot me a message on Facebook and I will try to get back to you. And I'm just going to add a little bit more here just because, I don't know. All right, and I'm going to add my water. And then just let that kind of do its thing here. And I think I lost the chat again, so sorry you guys. All right, so this one ended up being a little bit more plum color, or this is a pressed petal color, than my original, which is more of like a light lavender color. So let me, all right, let me see if I can get the chat back really quickly. And Delana has my number too, so no, the round pieces are the these art pebbles. So these are them, and I covered them with gesso. So I did that at the beginning so that they would dry. So all right, so this is the basic look to it. I'm probably gonna play with it a little bit more, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that I shared some new techniques with you guys, or, you know, at least inspired you to make your own project. And if you do, make sure you share it on Facebook or Instagram, whatever social media you use. Okay, so Carrie said she can see me, but she can't chat. Yeah, I keep losing my chat too, and I think I lost it again. So I'm going to say thank you guys so much for joining me. And again, we really appreciate it. And if you make projects inspired by any of the classes, we love to see them. And if you guys have any questions, let me know and message me on Facebook. And don't forget about Art Venture, and what was the other one? I forget the other announcement. If you need to know the announcements, they're at the beginning. So thank you guys so much, and I will catch you guys later.